I'm Algimantas. I live in a small East European country, Lithuania. It's at the Baltic Sea. The population is under 3 million, actually 2.5. I'm Creator's ambassador and apostle of Jesus and his partner, Nebuchadnezzar. How should I explain this? My representation of Creator to this planet. Well, I was appointed ambassador by Creator himself. It sounds, well, unaccustomed, extraordinary, and to the majority of those who have never heard my spiritual teachings, well, it's next to nonsense. How could Creator have his ambassador to this planet? What for? But if you take ambassador of one country to another, is it strange? No. It's a customary political position with certain duties for the ambassador to represent his own country to some other country. And nothing is out of the ordinary. Meanwhile, in my case, it's out of the ordinary because people don't know actually anything about Creator, that he is made up of 4 personalities: the Paradise Trinity, 3 sources and centers, and the Aggregate Deity I Am. So this is the Aggregate Source and Center. I've been appointed Creator's ambassador by Creator himself. It's not my, invention. I was chosen by Creator and then offered to take up this position, to represent him to this humanity. I accepted this proposal and this position, and after that I was asked to take oath of loyalty to Creator. I did it. And I was appointed apostle of Jesus by Jesus himself. And the apostle of Jesus' partner, Nebuchadnezzar. Because they have created the universe both together. Local universe, not the whole of creation, but only 1 out of 100,000 local universes in the sky that we see when we look up. And there are similar skies circling around the dwelling abode of Creator. 7. Their total number are 7. They are called super-universes. So each super-universe has 100,000 local universes. And every local universe is created by 2 spiritual personalities that have originated directly out of the Creator sources and centers, the Paradise Trinity I Am. So there are the total number of local universes 700,000. So there are 700,000 creator sons similar to our Jesus, and similar partners, 700,000, like our Nebuchadnezzar, creator daughter. The second issue, which is also out of the ordinary, the question arises just naturally. How come you could be asked by Creator to represent him to this planet? It's your invention, your fancy. It is not. Because I established communion with Creator, established communion with Jesus, with his partner, Nebuchadnezzar. I received teachings of Creator, of Jesus, Nebuchadnezzar, published books. So, therefore, I have no any other privilege but to represent Creator by speaking out his living word to people, to all nations, to all religions, to all sects, be they Muslim, Hinduistic, Christian, Jewish, no difference. To all political leaders of all states, presidents, premiers, kings, queens. So I have the obligation to speak out Creator's living word, because what I'm saying is also the living word of Creator. So my privilege is to live my life the way Creator is leading me from within, as I permanently reiterate one and the same assertion. You and me are not this visible outer material form. You and me are the indwellers of this material form, that is a spiritual personality. Humans consider that a personality is a person who has achieved some high positions, or he has reached out of the ordinary, levels in different forms and spheres of one's activity, be it athletic games or different vocational spheres. No. Personality is every person. Because the difference between a personality and non-personality is that personality makes his or her decisions by his or her free will. All life below the level of a personality, like birds, fish, animals, they don't have that personality level mind that would be able to make a choice between evil and goodness, between a moral decision and the immoral one, because they don't understand what is morality, what is evil, and what is goodness, since they are all led by their instincts. Instincts for beasts are very well developed because they need to find some habitat that would manage to provide enough of food for them that they would prolong the living of their own sort. So for this, they also need, in a way, to teach the puppies how to find food. If it's a predator, how to trace it, how to catch it. So these are the instincts polished in practice. So of course, practical understanding gives some sort of correct or wrong behavior. But no matter how much you might tame a beast, turning it into a domesticated animal, it will not be able to understand any better what is good and what is bad, what is moral and what is immoral, because their level of mind is not of the personality level. Even the least developed personality mind is much higher than the best mind of, say, chimpanzee or elephant, because elephants are truly very, very wise what concerns their behavior and right choice in any definite situation. Horse, it has a very highly developed mind for the level below personality, but it's too scared. If elephant, the courage of the elephant would be given to the horse, the mind of the latter would be the best among the animals. How come that beasts and animals, without any education from people, might manage to live for centuries without the extinction of their sort? How they manage to develop their offspring? Creator has seen to it that all this would receive assistance on the part of Creator through the bestowal of 5 adjutant mind spirits. And these are the minds operating within the mind of mammals. And these mind adjutant spirits are such of courage, of intuition, of knowledge or information, of understanding, and of counseling. So these 5 mind adjutant spirits are leading beasts, animals from within. They are leading their mind. Meanwhile, we, the personality level beings on this planet, the top level of the beings on this planet, have still 2 more additional mind adjutant spirits. Number 6, it's the adjutant mind spirit of worship, and number 7, of wisdom. So in this case, we have the support from within by the mind adjutant spirit of worship, that we begin to search for something or somebody that we don't even feel what we are searching for. Because this is the leading from within, invisible. It's simply leading every person to find something which is some sort of a force, some sort of a stronger mind, of some sort of a power. Of course, not everyone among the 8 billion members of humanity care for a conscious search for this somebody or something. But if you take a lower level of this personality mind, well, if you take some savage development stage in evolution on our planet, so even this savage man had these 5 mind adjutant spirits, and once they become to look for something which is higher, stronger, because they see around them a lot of strong beasts, and they, in a way, might tear them to pieces. They begin to feel, so this is the beast that should be taken as a certain totem, as a certain protection sign, as the power in this beast makes this beast to surpass the power of man. But when his mind is developing through the operation of these 5 adjutant mind spirits, he uses some ideas and implements them into certain tools. They begin to understand that they might even win a battle against this beast using this sort of a axe made of stone. But this progress is very little, but all the same, it gives a lot of thinking, a lot of um, effort to make this axe out of a stone. And this is because the mind operation is actively being used by that savage. So the evolution, the source of which is Creator himself, is not mindless, is not illogical. It's going on from the lowest level up to the personality mind development level, that is up to us. If you take a mind of a savage, he had no any idea about the existence of Creator as the most powerful, the wisest personality in four persons united in an absolute spiritual unity. He did not even think about such a term as personality. And today, in the 21st century, even psychiatrists and psychologists don't know the exact definition of a personality. They are just talking like in traffic, where they were going in a roundabout all the time, repeating the same different assertions, but finding no exit out of this roundabout. And they consider that the definition they present about personality is correct. And this is included in textbooks, manual books, and different scientific programs. They might speak about different moral things, about goodness and bad things, but they have no any idea that personality is the bestowal of Creator himself on our life. Now, there is much I would say even a pandemic of propaganda of artificial intellect. But there is none such a thing as artificial intellect. And all scientific circles repeat like parrots this very same artificial intellect. Man cannot make any artificial intellect. Man is not Creator. Man is only a reproductor of himself. He might reproduce himself, that is, prolong his family through giving birth to children. But it's not creation of children, but in a way, prolongation of life, as it has been designed by Creator according to his evolutionary plan for the whole of creation, that the lowest among the lowest mortals, still having the material outer form, this flesh, which is wrongly being called by mortals a human body. So this evolutionary plan of Creator and by Creator provides that mortal on this planet and all this other 7 trillion planets in the whole of creation with mortals, with humans, should prolong their same sort, that is human species, through only the reproduction of themselves, not creation. You might become a co-creator together with Creator. That's possible. But what this co-creation would be together with Creator of goodness, of values, and even of other Creator's children, sons and daughters on this planet. But in this case, the future parents should sincerely open up to Creator and ask Creator to be present in the most intimate mutual relationship while they are planning to have a baby in their family, so that the Creator would take up the central position within this process. So in this case, as Creator is present, even these future material human parents would turn into co-creators together with Creator himself for reproducing their own. But the personality gift, all the same, would be bestowed by Creator, as this is the bestowal of Creator. You cannot reach the level of personality if you are below the level of personality. Say, monkey can never be of a higher mind status. It is not provided by Creator's evolutionary plan that out of a beast or animal, tamed animal or domesticated animal, they might reach the level of a higher personality mind through, say, some sort of training, even by humans. They might perform a lot of different actions that might even trick people's mind, but they would never reach the level of a personality mind, because they have not been bestowed the personality status on them by Creator. And Creator is an exclusive source and center of personality. And it doesn't matter how you might define what is personality or what is not. It'll always be bestowal, the gift exceptionally by Creator upon every personality and throughout all evolutionary stages. Whether you are perfected once you stand in the immediate presence of Creator on Paradise, or you are just today making just the very first step in the evolutionary career, still in this material form, visible to us. When I mentioned it's wrong to call it a human body, I meant first you have, in this case, to reach the level of a human by your spiritual enlightenment, by your spiritual educational level. And what is that level? The level of Jesus. If you want to become a human, you should reach the level of Jesus. When Jesus was crucified and when he exhaled the last breath and the last whisper out of his lips was, "Finished. Finished." And the centurion, that is a military officer of the Roman Empire, who was leading the soldiers who were protecting the place, he said, "That was the man. That was the man." So this is the human level. If you reach the human level of your mind development, in this case, you shall be responsibly given this dignity to state you are in this human body. But now there is a big difference between your mind operation, your thoughts, your decisions, your actions, and your desires. If you want to call this body a human body, you should be the one who would never support a lie, any conflict. Nothing speaking about a military war. You should recognize Creator, and it's not enough. You should discover Creator within. Jesus did discover the Father within. when he was led by the seven mind adjutant spirits, just prior to the receiving of the Father's Spirit, thought adjuster, he was already trying to express himself to the Father in his own words, in his own thoughts. And that caused much of worry to his parents, Joseph and Mary. And they tried to forbid him to behave like this. And ultimately he agreed by saying, okay, first I will pray the way you are demanding that I would pray according to the Jewish law. But after this, I will go and talk with the loving Father the way I desire in my heart. And that was the words of a kid, teenager, to his parents about Creator. Do you think about Creator very often? Did you think about him when you were, say, 8 or 9 years of age? So that's why when I established communication with the Father, it happened not at once. And at first I failed at my attempt, even though I tried to hear the Father, maybe for 5 or 6 months, trying every night to sit still, trying to pacify my thoughts, that they would not disturb my mind, that I would feel tranquility within, because it is in a tranquility you can hear Creator speak you. And then I arrived at the conclusion, I'm not up to this level. So I skipped this attempt to carry on with the so far futile effort in trying to hear what the Father was telling me. It lasted maybe for a year and a half, the gap. But the thought was coming ever more often. Try again. But I tried to make an excuse. I'm not up to this level. All the same, I will not hear the Father. But ultimately, again, I sat at home at night and tried to pray first of all, and then I was simply waiting in silence. And I was taken aback, but when I saw a colorful view, I'm flying in space. And I see the globe of the planet. And I'm coming ever closer to the planet. Just this nearing to the planet was fascinating me so much. I was all absorbed by this view, by the projection. That was the projection of the Father's Spirit, thought adjusting. Then I was just approaching ever closer to the surface, and I saw cities still far, far away from me. But I could I could already discern that these were the certain structures, and ever more. I was getting ever more closer, and I already saw the high rises, and they looked very much like Manhattan in New York. I was already to the level of the top roofs of the high rises. And then I was lowered still more and more slowly, and I found myself on a wet black tarmac. I raised my eyes, and I saw just a small segment of blue sky, which was very soon covered with black clouds passing. So that was the view I was given by Creator. I didn't hear a single word, but I saw the picture that fascinated my mind. The next night, I said to the Father, I saw this picture without any explanation, what I see and why. If it was your certain presentation of something, I would like to hear some explanation what I was shown. And right after my question, I began to hear just a story that fascinated me. So he said that you saw the planet from high above, even higher than the spaceships fly. You felt like you were in a really open space. You didn't feel any discomfort or fear. You enjoyed it. So I was showing you that my creation is not only what you might see with your own eyes, it's much more. And the closer I was taking you to the surface of the planet, the more you discerned every single structure. So, like in life, if you see the landscape, you see that picture, but you don't see any separate leaf. The closer you come to the landscape itself, to a certain definite object, the more you see of that part of the object. So you should keep in mind the whole of the structure and be wise to notice even separate elements. And when I was lowered and placed on the wet tarmac and saw the clouds and saw a small segment of the blue sky among the high rises, the Father explained to me You see very little of the blue sky. But it does not mean the sun does not shine. If there are some shadows in your life, it does not mean there is no light beyond the shadows. And I asked, what is the meaning of the black clouds? And I was given the response, these are your problems. And you're trying to solve them by sticking to the problems. You can never solve them if you are within the problems. You should look at your problems from a higher level than the problem. Then you can see the solution for the problem. For me, it was difficult to realize what it means to be higher than the problem, to see it from a higher point. But I just explained what I saw, or actually what I was shown, and what I was explained. That was the very beginning that turned into ever new experiences with Creator, whom now I know it's not only the Father, but the four sources and centers. I call them the Eternal Mother, the Eternal Father, the Universal Father, the Eternal Mother. This is the second source and center. The Father is the first source and center. And the third source and center of the Paradise Trinity, the Infinite Mother. And the Aggregate Deity, I am, always written in capital characters. There are two symbolically expressed mothers. One is the eternal, the other is the infinite mother. They are just the sources, and the names are given for humans, that they would have a certain closer relationship. Because a center, it might be envisaged by a person as a certain structure, like a business center, some offices, or like the center of some area, the capital center, the very middle. But it's hardly possible to call any personality a center. But Creator is also the source and center of personality. And he is himself the source and center. So for humans, you may invent any name that helps you understand Creator better and open up to him sincerely by addressing him in your favorite name. You might invent the name of your own. It's important that you should resiliently, persistently, and regularly try to open up sincerely to Creator. This is a must. Because you should realize Creator is awaiting your sincere approach to Him. He has already approached you, each of you. He has bestowed you the personality gift and bestowed upon you his own spirit, thought adjusted, and the 7 adjutant mind spirits, like I've told you before. So he is even within you. He has approached you. Now it's your turn to approach him with your sincerity, in your own words. I embrace you in my brotherly, fatherly embrace, in spirit.